For the past few months, I've been busy at my creative studio, Musings, working on a new collection of products. It takes a lot of work to design objects, manufacture them, create packaging, and craft the story and marketing for launch. But what do I use to get it all done? Hello, I'm Matthew Encina. In this video, I'll take you through the process of designing products, focusing on the tools and software I use at each step. At the end, I'll show you what I've been working on. Thanks to Dropbox for sponsoring this video. For context, I'm preparing to launch the next edition of my Encore keyboard that I designed with Mode. I'm also creating a collection of pens with my friend Jeff Chang, who runs Inventery, a precision pen company in Pasadena. Both projects expand on a design motif I created for my X-ray collection, which I shared in a previous video. These two new products continue that translucent, industrial-style aesthetic in a new set of desk accessories. The first part of any project is coming up with the concept. The keyboard and pens will be based on existing designs, so I'll be focusing on the materials of those at a later step. Right now, I'm sketching ideas for a new pen stand to hold the pens we're making. My favorite tools for sketching are paper-made flare pens on a Canson marker pad. I used to sketch primarily with pencils, which I still enjoy, but I found that I'm light and timid when it comes to laying down lines, and I'm working on becoming more confident with my strokes. Using a felt tip pen creates bold lines that I can't erase, which helps me be more deliberate when drawing. I sometimes warm up by drawing straight lines and circles before beginning my session. Here I let my thoughts flow freely, without treating these drawings too preciously or adding too much detail. Just enough to represent the idea. My objective is to explore many possibilities rather than finessing a few tight ones. If I need to distinguish between parts or materials, I sometimes use a different color pen or block out areas with Pantone markers. I keep just a few light shades in warm, cool, and neutral tones that cover my needs. When I'm done sketching, I title and date each one to track the progression of my ideas. I display them where I can easily see and reference them. I use felt-right pads on my wall with magnetic pins to hold them up. These pins are great because they don't puncture the paper, they can hold multiple sheets, and allow me to rearrange or flip through pages easily. Once I have an idea I'm happy with, I move into design. I use Fusion 360, a 3D CAD modeling software that I learned on my own. I didn't go to school for industrial design, but I'm learning as I go. Most objects I make start with a 2D sketch. I extrude this into a 3-dimensional body, then add, join, remove, and detail the parts until I have my model. Working digitally, it's difficult to visualize how something on screen will translate to real life, but I have tools to help with this. First is my 3D printer, which I use to create prototypes I can hold and evaluate before making design adjustments. I have a Bambu Lab's A1 at home and an X1C at the studio. Both have the additional AMS for printing multiple materials, perfect for prototyping this pen stand that eventually will be made from aluminum and polycarbonate. Next is my Mitutoyo digital caliper. This helps me take accurate measurements in millimeters or inches, study existing objects to determine common dimensions, and make micro adjustments when something doesn't fit right. To visualize the final materials and finishes on my products, I create 3D renders using Cinema 4D and Redshift as the renderer. While Fusion 360 is made for manufacturing models, Cinema 4D specializes in visualization and animation. One invaluable resource for this is Greyscale Gorilla. I use their extensive 3D asset library to quickly build scenes, add lighting, and apply realistic materials to my objects. These renders help communicate my vision to collaborators, showing what the final product should look like. This step streamlines the manufacturing process by reducing back and forth communications. Currently, I'm creating various material combination renders of the pen and pen stands to review with Jeff at Inventery. I've also developed multiple material options for the Encore keyboard to discuss with the team at Mode. Working on multiple projects with people across time zones is challenging. That's why I use Dropbox, the sponsor of this video, to help my team store and sync files securely so that we can focus on the important work. I use shared folders to collaborate by granting view or edit access to specific project folders and files. I control permissions and access while keeping content organized. My team works asynchronously, so leaving notes for others to view on their own time is important. I can annotate photos and PDFs and add timestamp comments on videos, making feedback clear and trackable, keeping our projects moving. If someone accidentally deletes a file, I have peace of mind with Dropbox Rewind, which helps me restore files, access previous versions, and recover data. I'm also excited about Dropbox Dash. It helps teams quickly find and organize files across all their work apps, providing AI-powered tools to write, analyze, and summarize content in one place. With Dash Chat, you can type, "Summarize our Q4 goals," or find files by asking, "Where's the latest script draft?" It retrieves answers from your notes and content across your connected apps while citing sources for verification and lets you dig deeper by asking follow-up questions. I've used Dropbox for many years, and it's an essential tool for keeping my workflow smooth and my team organized. Thanks to Dropbox for sponsoring this video. Click the link in the description to learn more. One important aspect of product development is tracking project progress. I use 2 different apps for this, Notion and Figma. I've spoken extensively about Notion on many past videos for you to watch, so I'll focus on how I use Figma. Figma is a design app popular in digital product design with growing adoption. I mainly use Figma Jam, a minimalist collaborative whiteboard for organizing media, notes, and content. I use it for strategy sessions, mood boards, building concepts, timelines, and design logs. Each project gets its own board to document my ideas and track project evolution. My favorite thing is revisiting old projects to find inspiration from past research or unused design paths. In this project, I share multiple versions of the Encore with Mode and different material combinations for pens with Jeff. From there, we machine prototypes to see and feel them in real life. I test the keyboards and pens, share feedback on my Figma board, then we review together and make adjustments until the design is ready for production. Next on my to-do list is tackling the packaging for the pen, stand, and keyboard. I use Adobe Illustrator for packaging design, a vector tool for precise, scalable work. I work within die-line templates, which show all panels, folds, and cuts needed for production. Our vendor provides these templates based on specs we give them. For simple boxes, we provide a diagram with notes, but for complex items, like this new molded pulp tray for the Encore keyboard, our team models it in Fusion 360. My role focuses on the artwork, text, and finishes that appear on the packaging. I rely on the Pantone color system, which ensures color consistency across different materials and processes. When I select a color from my Pantone books, it returns the same from printers. I submitted the files weeks ago and am now reviewing samples. For the main color, I selected white paper stock paired with cool gray 5U from my Pantone uncoated guide. I've also specified special finishes including areas of blind debossing, silver foil on the wraparound sticker, and a UV spot gloss with deboss across the top, creating a beautiful effect in the light. These colors and finishes reference the materials we use on the keyboards and pens: steel, polycarbonate, and aluminum, creating a cohesive look for the collection. Now that we're nearing the end of production for the products, I have to ramp up on creating marketing materials. I'll be capturing photos and videos to use on our sales pages and social posts. For photos, I mostly shoot with natural light, but supplement it when I need to shape the lighting direction. Currently, I use the FujiFilm XE4 with just 2 lenses, a 35mm for wide and medium shots, and an 80mm for close-up shots. I love this camera because I use its film simulations with my own recipe to shoot straight to JPEG with minimal post-processing. After capturing product photos in different setups, I import them into Adobe Lightroom. I rate them, cull down my selections, apply minor adjustments to exposure, temperature, and tint. Then crop for social and web formats, and export. For Instagram carousels, I use Adobe Bridge to sort and sequence photos. Bridge lets me manually arrange images, and batch rename them to maintain sequence order in any file viewer. I then airdrop these from my MacBook to my iPhone for posting to Instagram. In addition to photos, I capture video to showcase product features, including keyboard typing sounds. My main camera is the Canon C70, an older cinema camera I bought used that's been a workhorse for years. I also use the R6 Mark II for overhead shots on a C-stand or as a B camera. I pair these with 3 Canon L series zoom lenses, the 15-35mm, 24-70mm, and 70-200mm. These cover the full range of shots I need in all my videos. For audio, I primarily use the Rode NTG5 shotgun mic, which excels at capturing sound in the direction it's pointed while rejecting noise from the sides and rear. I'll leave a link to all my video gear in the description. To edit all my video content, including social, I use Adobe Premiere. I bring in all of my footage, make my selects, and edit them down. Then I color correct and grade the footage, and finalize the audio mix. You can check out my entire process in my previous videos. With all the work complete, let me show you the final products I'm releasing. The first from this collection is the Encore Series 3, a keyboard I designed previously with Mode. This series features 3 new colorways that follow an industrial theme. Each keyboard is CNC machined, exploring a range of new materials and finishes. The first is an X-ray edition of the Encore, based on the keycaps I designed previously. It features an EY top and polycarbonate bottom and accent. Polycarbonate, or PC for short, is the hero material you'll find across the entire collection. As a material, it's highly durable while maintaining visual lightness, allowing us to celebrate the interior architecture through a translucent X-ray effect that emphasizes our industrial design theme. The next colorway from this release features a polycarbonate and brushed aluminum top with a heavy brushed steel bottom. This is the first time we've offered a brushed steel bottom, and it was challenging to get right. We went through several prototypes before landing on a brushing process we liked. This adds rich contrast across the material surface. And the last colorway features a polycarbonate and EY top paired with a beautiful brushed copper bottom. Another first-of-its-kind offering for Mode. All of these can be built to your liking with your choice of switches and keycaps. I designed these to pair with both my X-ray and Modern Materials keycaps. Here's a typing test of my 3 configurations. In addition to the keyboards, I wanted to create something new to complement them. Over the past year, I've gotten to know Jeff Chang, who runs Inventery in Pasadena, California, and I enjoy using his precision-made pens. When I bring up the idea of collaborating with the Encore Series 3 materials, Jeff is intrigued. He works with various metals, steel, brass, copper, and exotic blends like mokume, but he's never worked with polycarbonate. So the challenge is learning how to machine this material and where to use it, while creating pens distinct from anything he's created previously. I've never worked on a pen before, so I wanted to learn more about how it was made from start to finish. The design is based on Inventory's bolt action pen, which requires 5 separate programs to create all the parts. Each part is thoroughly cleaned, inspected for accuracy, and is finished with brushing, polish, or a painted Cerakote to match our E-White keyboards. For the ink, the pen can take any Parker-style refill, but we are using my favorite to write with, the Schmidt P8126 Rollerball refill. For fun, we laser engrave a custom design on these refills to be visible through the translucent areas of the pen. for the pen stand, these are machined using a custom soft jaw to hold our material in place while the CNC machines the top and bottom parts. These are then sanded and polished on the lathe. One of the versions is Cerakoted to pair with the corresponding pen. And for the base, we add a custom laser engraved piece of silicone for grip and surface protection. After all the parts are finished, they move into final assembly. These are then finalized with a metal stamped Mod Musings logo on the end cap and are placed in our packaging to ship to customers. The pens come in 3 variants that pair with the Encore Series 3 keyboards. A full polycarbonate edition of the pen, lightweight and translucent, which showcase all of the internal parts and laser engravings. Next is an X-ray edition, made of polycarbonate and a heavy steel, which is Cerakoted white. Lastly is the steel and polycarbonate edition with a custom machine clip with 2 visible fasteners, which reinforce the industrial theme of the collection. These pair with either the steel stand with a machined finish or white pen stand with a blasted finish. They can hold your pen upright or at an angle on your desk. You'll find all of the information for both the pens and Encore keyboards linked in the description. I hope this video gives you insights into the tools and processes I use for product design. Check out the companion blog post in the description for additional links and resources. If you have a question, ask and I'll do my best to answer it. With that out of the way, it's time to get back to work.